Welcome. Thank you for joining the conversation about the 19 rules for getting rich and staying rich despite Wall Street. As we move through this session and others, I'm going to ask you to go to certain parts in your book, so please have it available. If you don't own a book, you can buy one from your local bookstore, from our website, uniquereads.com, from Amazon, or wherever ebooks are sold. It comes in hardback, paperback, and ebook format. Okay, let's get started. Rule number 14, go to page 89. I want you to have 6 months of whatever you put into your operating account each month from your salary in the bank in the form of emergency reserves, in a 1 year or less bank CD, or in a 1 year or less U.S. Treasury. These reserves are much more important than at first glance. They are your way of making sure that at a time of high family stress, you have less financial stress. So if you or your spouse or a family member were to lose their job, you would not spin out of control because you have no income or no place to get your hands on money. Okay? You should not take any liquidity risk with this. That's why I said a 1 year or less CD or 1 year Treasury. And one of the most important things you can understand is the return of the money when you need it is more important than the return on the money when you don't need it. Okay? Now go to page 90, rule number 15, portfolio strategy. You need to understand there's two kinds of investments. There are illiquid investments, such as real estate, private equity, venture capital, alternative investments, commodities, and everything that is different from an exchange traded security. Okay? Your illiquid investment is your primary residence. Your liquid investments are the common stocks and the fixed income securities that you own. I want you to split any money that you put into liquid investments, 70% going into common stocks and 30% going into fixed income securities. There's going to be 4 exceptions to that rule, but they're unusual exceptions. So what you need to understand is that when you have money, 70% goes into common stocks and 30% goes into fixed income securities. Okay? I want you to have an investment policy statement that fully describes your total return strategy that you're using with the 19 rules. Now, you probably have never in your entire life written one or even heard of one, but go to page 155 in the book and you will see a sample investment policy statement for someone who wants to use the 19 rules total return strategy. Okay? Now let's go to page 96. This is where we talk about real estate. You should own your primary residence as soon as possible in your life. You should have as big of a mortgage as possible without mortgage insurance. And it should be a 30-year fixed rate mortgage on your principal residence. Now, why 30 years? Why fixed rate? Because no one knows the future. You don't know what your life is going to be like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. If in 5 years you found yourself without a job and you had an adjustable rate short-term mortgage, you might lose your house. With a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, all you have to do is pay the taxes and pay the mortgage payment every month. There's another reason why. When you take out that mortgage right now, it is based upon your income right now. As your income grows, if that mortgage does not change, you have more and more money to improve your current lifestyle rather than to be worried about whether 5 years from now interest rates are going to be twice as high as they are now. Okay? Do not pay off any mortgage you have early. A lot of people like to send an extra payment in. That doesn't make any sense. If you have extra money, put it into your investment portfolio, because all you're saving on that mortgage is the interest rate. And if your average annual investment return is greater than that interest rate, then you can earn more money on that money that you would have sent in to pay off the mortgage early. There's another point. If you choose to refinance that mortgage, which you should do if interest rates come down, then just refinance the current balance on the mortgage and refinance it for fixed rate for 30 years. Not only will you save money because you have extended out the mortgage for another 30 years, but you save money because you have a lower interest rate. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you something that you might need to think about. Suppose you qualify for a $300,000 house that's mortgaging your down payment. First thing you want to do is find out what part of town you want to live in. And once you find out that, you'll probably see that there's more than one neighborhood in that part of town. One neighborhood might be a brand new neighborhood, pretty houses, pretty new houses. And if the houses might extend from $200,000 to $350,000, you qualify for a $300,000 house. So you qualify for a house close to the top range of that neighborhood. Another neighborhood might be an older, more established neighborhood where the houses range from $250,000 to $500,000. And there's one in there for $300,000 that needs a lot of work, a lot of renovation. You should buy the house in the more established neighborhood, and let me explain to you why. When you buy that $300,000 house in the new neighborhood, you're going to want to make it a home. So you're going to possibly put a fence around it, put a swimming pool in it, change some of the colors, maybe upgrade some of the appliances, and then it's going to be your home. But when people come looking for houses in that neighborhood, they're going to be looking for houses on average lower than your price. Over here in this neighborhood, you're going to have to put money into that house, possibly put a new roof on it. You might want to put a fence, might want to have a swimming pool. You're certainly going to have to upgrade the appliances in the kitchen and in the bathroom and what have you. But even after you do that, you're still going to be at the middle level of this price range in this neighborhood. And it is a more established neighborhood. And you might be there longer than you would be in this other neighborhood. And you can find in the book, in this chapter, a full explanation of why I tell you not to move very often. Because moving is a major hit to your building wealth every time you move. Okay? Now, as time goes on, as your wealth builds, you might want to have a vacation home or some investment real estate. That's fine. Get a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle. On one side, put the cost of that particular investment. On the other side, whatever revenue that you might get from it. and then make sure it's right for you and your family when you do that. All right, let's recap for a minute. You want emergency reserves of 6 months of what you put into your operating account each month. Those reserves will help you make calm financial decisions at a time of high family stress, and you will not interrupt your wealth growth. The total return strategy will give you at least approximately 3.25% a year worth of income in your portfolio, and as the portfolio grows, the income will grow as well. By fixing your mortgage for a long period of time, you will free up more money for you to enjoy now and have a higher investment portfolio contributions as time goes on. Okay? Now, next session, we're going to talk about Rule 17, fixed income investing. So make sure you have your book with you. Thank you for being here in this session. I look forward to seeing you in the next session.